Good afternoon, guys. What's cracking? What's going on? Right now, I'm actually enjoying me an ice cold Keystone. Otherwise, I'm having that. And I'm also having a nice cigar. I think I've mentioned that in past videos, which I'm watching Engineering Explain right now. Let me turn this off real quick or pause it. Fucking love that channel. If you don't know what Engineering Explained is, go watch it. I absolutely love that guy. I really love everything they post. I love. It's all about like technical things and kind of breaking down how things work, which I love. So anyways, getting back here, I'm drinking a beer, having a nice cigar right now, and I'm waiting for Travis Beaver, the guy who was painting all the parts on the MR2 and had previously painted the parts on the Supra, to show up. He's bringing a test panel by, so let me show you here. The panel on the back of the MR2, he's bringing by to see how well it matches to the car itself right now. If you guys have seen my Supra, it is 50 shades of gray, and he is trying to make sure my MR2 does not turn into 50 shades of white. We want to try and keep this as clean looking as possible. The biggest issue going to be the fact that this is a single stage paint car, and all the panels that he is painting are going to be a clear or a paint on clear kind of setup. Yeah, or a clear on paint setup. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. So we want to make sure this looks good. I'm sorry if it's a little foggy in here too. Because I've been smoking, I have the door shut too, which is kind of holding it all in. But yeah, so waiting for him to show up here, and I'm gonna let him explain if it looks good or if there's anything else he sees wrong. I kind of want him to go over why there's overspray over the car, what he would have done differently with the cars if he would have painted them, and kind of give you guys an aspect of what it's like to go through painting a car, what it takes to paint a car, and all the fun with that. Plus, we're gonna drink beer together because America.
Will you wait?
God, you look so cute on camera. 7 different shades of white. So do all manufacturers do this, or?
A lot of them. Like this is a white book.
So that's all the different colors of just white.
Of different, like that's Honda. So there's 2 on that one, Suzuki. There's 3, 4, 10. I just gotta find.
There's that many shades of white, guys. I didn't even see. This is all the stuff I have no idea about. Don't know anything about this stuff. This is way above my pay grade.
So here's yours. These are all the.
So these are all the different types of white for just this car?
Just for that car.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, no, that's got to be such a pain in the ass on your behalf. Like when you're trying to paint a car, you say, oh yeah, it's whatever the 41. I forget what the color code is.
Yes. And they're all different. Like that's greener, lighter, bluer, yellower, bluer. Basically, if your color is off, then you can actually use these to pick one that's going to basically make it look a lot better. To me, I think the one I painted was a little brighter, so I might try to do one that's almost a little more creamier.
I mean, we can actually snap it on the car if you want to put it back and.
Can you?
Yeah, because let me just pop the trunk here. It literally just snaps on. It just presses on those 2 spots. So if you just literally take it here, hold that for me.
That, and I wanted to see how much of the car was actually painted.
I think the whole thing was. And then there's 2 screws to hold on. That's it. So you tell me what you think of that.
See how it's, to me, it's off a little bit. This is.
Okay. I do see it now.
It has like a yellow tint to it compared to this. So I should be able to use a different variants. Okay. To get it a little closer, since we're only panel painting that.
And see, I never would have noticed that. And even still, you're using us. What I mean, in daylight, would you even be able to see it?
Possibly. It's weird. Sometimes under fluorescent lights, you can tell a bigger difference than out in the sun. But to me, I don't like it. But.
See, perfectionist. I don't have to worry about anything. He takes care of it all. Because that was the one thing I had. My last video, I did this and I pulled it outside. This matched everything perfect. The front bumper was actually really good, but looking at what the Best of Show did in the back, it's horrible. Like, I mean, just standing here, you could see it. I mean, yeah, and they had the car. It wasn't like I gave you the bumper and you're like, let me try to do the best I can. They physically had this, and that's what they came up with. That's why I was so upset when I got the car back.
See, when you see that looking a different direction, it's called the flop. It's how the metallic lays. That's why when you're this way looking at it, it looks brown. Okay. This doesn't look brown, it's just the metallics laying different, but if you look straight on, it actually doesn't look bad. Can you see that? It's actually not bad looking straight on.
But when you're actually at an angle, like which all my pictures where I was taking.
Yes. It'll make it a lot worse.
See, this is stuff I never would have known.
Now, when I did the spoiler, I figured this would match theirs better because I think it was a little different.
That's different too because obviously it's sitting up. But when you got panel to panel, when you're talking this panel to this is where you can really see it. But when you have a structure that's up above it, I feel like it's hard to tell the color difference. But when you're going right beside each other, I mean, it's just,
yes.
Yeah, it was horrible. All right, guys, it's another day now. Sorry about all this. It's probably all convoluted for a video, but you saw that Travis stopped by there, kind of went over what he need to do to trying to get things to match up. It's pretty awesome that the guy who paints my cars is willing to literally come over to make sure it matches. And like he said, he's like, it's not perfect. He's like, I'm gonna go back, respray it again, or try even give like another card. He actually brought like a book of cards, which is insane. There's that many whites out there. But he's gonna actually spray one because he said these cards also fade over time. He's like, I want it to match as best as possible. So it's pretty cool. He's like, hey, we're not gonna have another 50 shades of gray. This will not be 50 shades of white. So he's gonna get it to match up really nicely. I appreciate him doing that. But right now what I'm doing is going through and ordering parts that I need. So I did this. These bolts here go down to the suspension. So right there, I forget what the hell those things are. I keep wanting to call them swing arms, but I know they're not called that, and I'm having a stupid moment right now. But I need to replace the one bolt for that, and then the smaller bolt here is actually for the tension rods that are over at Wilhelm Raceworks right now. So I went ahead and ordered those because I stripped two and had to cut one off. If you guys watched one of my previous videos, I had to cut one off because the fact it just wouldn't fit anymore. I shouldn't say wouldn't fit, wouldn't come out. So I had to cut it out with a cutting wheel. And yeah, it didn't end too well for me, so I had to buy more of those. Just so you know, I probably got a few other things with it too, just like random nuts and bolts with it too. My total bill for that to get those custom bolts from Toyota was $44.
Oh my.
That's not including shipping. I'm picking it from my local dealer. Not cheap at all, so don't make my mistake. I guess Fastenal couldn't even get these for me. They were specific length and stuff, so it is what it is. But anyways, on top of that, I'm right now, let's finish up here. Where are we at? Ordering more bolts too on top of it. I'm trying to get certain flanged and non-flanged bolts. I prefer to replace anything if I'm replacing a 10mm or a 12mm bolt. I replace it with stainless steel if it can be. The only time I really try to stay away from stainless steel if it's in the engine bay at some areas. The only reason for that is if something were to happen, like if I drop it or it falls into a small area, I can use a magnet to get it. If it's true stainless, it's not magnetic, you can't pick it up. Learned that the hard way. If you guys never heard this story, my dumbass, well, let's start from the beginning. My dumbass was working on this car one day, was replacing all the spark plugs and stuff or whatever. Two of the bolts on it had stripped or whatever, so I used stainless steel with an extra washer on them, just to make it fit better and make sure the coil packs weren't moving around. Great. Well, put everything back together, put the new spark plugs in, started up, and I'm hearing this rattling noise. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell's wrong? Turn it off, and I'm like looking around, I'm like, I don't see anything. Turn it back on, I hear like this, sounds like tapping. I'm like, scares me, so I start pulling out the coil packs and take out the spark plugs I can't see in there, run down the AutoZone, and thank God they had a bore scope. Go down there, get a bore scope, check every single bore, get to the 6-cylinder. The one washer, it must have had an extra one down in there somehow, whatever it was. I even checked, I counted for the 2 washers, they were there. Somehow another washer fell down inside the cylinder head, got down inside the piston there, was sitting in there banging around. Now, here's the shitty part, it's not magnetic. So how do you get it out? Luckily, I had a friend who's had this issue before. What you do is you take some putty, put it around like one of the magnetic ends, get down in there, use the stickiness of the putty to pull it out. Didn't know if you guys know that, but it's a little life hack for you. But yeah, luckily when I did take the head off, what it was 6 months later then to go check it after I was starting to build the motor, thank God it didn't damage anything, and the washer itself was so minuscule and so flat and tiny that it didn't damage anything. The head wasn't marked up. Thank God, I'm very lucky. But yeah, stupidity happens, guys. That's the kind of shit you run into when you're rushing or you're not paying attention. So I try to stay away from things that are stainless steel in certain areas just for that kind of reason. So there you go. People make mistakes, shit happens. So those are the kind of things you don't want to do. Like, that's just not, you know, everyone has their bad days, you know. Me not being a shop guy, I don't have any real schooling with cars. You know, shit happens. I didn't know that. Now looking back at it, I'm like, I should have known better. You shouldn't use stainless in those kind of areas. Or you shouldn't use anything that has something small that could fall off like that. I would have used a true flanged bolt instead of something that had an extra or something that can fall off the bolt itself. I wouldn't use just a regular washer. So learn that from my own stupidity. Learn from my mistake, guys. Don't make that for yourself. But enough of that now. I'm done complaining or talking about that subject. Now I need to get back to the MR2 here. I'm actually working on the lower control arms right now. One of the issues I'm running into is this, though. When I did remove them, I noticed that this side, which is the driver's side, has this nice little, I guess, washer on it. The passenger side didn't. So I decided, you know what, I'll post up on one of the Facebook pages and ask, hey, why does the driver's side have one and the passenger doesn't? First guy says, he's like, I have no idea, that's weird. Second guy gets on there and goes, wait a second, he's like, my passenger side has one, but my driver's side doesn't. And I know 110% that I pulled this off the driver's side and passenger side, and I even made sure to write it on them just to make sure that I didn't switch them up. I don't think it really matters. It shouldn't matter. But I made sure to mark them just in case, and I'm glad I did now, because now he's like, well, shit, why is mine missing one? And I look online, it looks like it's supposed to have the washer. So it looks like this has the Toyota, whatever markings on it here. It looks like this was replaced at one time. So what I'm thinking is when they did this, they forgot to put the washer back on, is the only thing I can think of, and that's why this one doesn't have it. I don't know any other reason why one would have it and one wouldn't. I went ahead and ordered new bolts and new washers from Toyota. Once again, I said I spent $40-some just in those. So I went ahead and ordered this washer. It looks like it's built into it. If you look closely here, it looks like it's almost built into it, but maybe I'm wrong. So I'll throw one on the passenger side here too, just to be safe. I don't want anything to happen, or, you know, don't want it to make any extra noise of any sort. So better be safe than sorry in this kind of aspect. So while I finish up working on suspension today, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. I got a bunch of stuff I need to get done that's little piddly stuff that I don't really have time to record, and sadly, I've got to get it done quick and get it moving here. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all's support, guys. Do me a favor, give it a big thumbs up if you like this, like and comment, because if you don't do that, unfortunately, YouTube will not push these videos, and no one will see them. If you've noticed lately, my views are way down. I didn't really change any of my content, but YouTube's new algorithm has really screwed things up. 23,000 subscribers and about 1,000 views per video. No idea why. My last video got over 200 likes, not a single dislike, and I got no help from YouTube. So I'm not really sure why. A lot of the people I'm talking to aren't seeing the videos too, which is a little frustrating. You guys subscribe to the channel, you want to see the content, yet YouTube decides, maybe today we won't show you the content. Maybe the next one we won't, the next one we won't. It's very frustrating for a content creator that we put a lot of time and effort into this, and when they do stuff like that, it's very frustrating for us. But I'm trying not to be a little baby here, so I digress. And you know what, guys? Thank you very much. Go check out the Facebook and Instagram. If there's anything you guys need, please hit me up. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you later. Peace!